My downtown home. My rural friends can't believe the wildlife, the good people, the general comfort and beauty I find in my downtown home. From the farm myself, I understand their amazement. We were raised on poems like Eleanor Fargeon's City Streets and Country Roads. I'll recite a few lines. The city has streets, but the country has roads. In the country one sees blue carts with their loads of sweet-smelling hay. Oh, take me away to the country again. And then there's the song, The Man Behind the Plough, by Thomas Paine Westendorf. So this is my version of it. I'm not so much at singing as those highfalutin chaps. My voice it may be husky and a little loud perhaps, for I have been a-ploughing with a lazy team, you see, and they've kept me pretty busy with my kid-up, whoa-ha-gee. But if you'll pay attention now, I've just a word to say about a great mistake you make and do it every day, and dealing out your praises, and I wish to tell you now that too often you forget the man who walks behind the plough. You talk about your learned men, your wit and wisdom rare, your poets and your painters, they get praises everywhere. They're well enough to make a show, but will you tell me how the world would ever do without the man behind the plough? Your music, painting, poetry may all be hard to beat, but tell me what you're gonna do for something good to eat. So son, don't be too anxious to leave the good old farm. Your father's strength is failing, soon he'll need your youthful arm. If you're honest in your purpose, at your feet the world must bow, for the greatest of the great men is the man behind the plough. Greatest of the great men. We grew up singing this. We girls knew that the men could never function without us women. We did the cooking and sewing and kept the house for them. With all this bubbling in my blood, transitioning to downtown urban culture was traumatic. A prior stint on Indian reservations taught me that everyone is just people. Recognizing this equality of all people, urban and rural, helped a lot. So did my dog, Roxy. Now let me introduce you to my downtown home. Mid-sized Canadian city, population in 2024 about 500,000. Downtown in my city. What do you think of when you think of downtown? Steel and concrete? Geese obstructing footpaths? Here's how we keep in touch with nature, go places and visit friends, get our supplies, make a home for ourselves. Wildlife on my building's premises. A goldfinch singing in a tree. A robin finding the worm. A common grackle sitting on the fence. An eastern grey squirrel eating lunch. One of those cute little red squirrels. And a cottontail rabbit. And a skunk stopped when it saw me and my cat, changed course, went its way without incident. We're in touch with nature in nature reserves in the middle of the city. These precious natural areas provided both solitude and spiritual renewal for Richard and all others who venture along these paths. Canada geese on a lake in the nature reserve. Canada geese in a city park. Families in nature in a city park. Juvenile starling in a city park. Dappled jade in green spaces. Eastern grey squirrel in a green space, eating a nut. Spring flowers and sprouts in green space. Mourning dove in a green space. American robin in a green space. European starling in a green space. All of this is in the middle of the city. A large spruce tree in a green space. I heard a bird in the tree, but I cannot find it. Trees and hedges all over town are home to all kinds of wildlife. Trees, bushes and hedges, trees to the city skyline. On acres of asphalt. Along streets. On private property. Old wood, trees, bushes and hedges. Old wood, trees, bushes and hedges. Some more old wood. New trees planted in the last few years, tomorrow's urban forest, continuing home for wildlife. We share space, like birds, so the people where we live. As we share space as we travel. On trains and buses. Sharing space like birds on a hydroline or plants in a pot, we urbanites share space. At the grocery store. At the mall. When picking up supplies. We share space for our school garden projects. When eating out. For outdoor activity. When walking the dog. As my dog sniffed out city sights like farm dogs sniffed out farm sights, I realized the many ways my downtown home was like the farm. Like my Depression-era grandma, I made do with what I had. I lived under those steps, farmed and harvested the city. Thanks for watching. See you next time.